How do we feed people on Mars? This is a big question that's kept a lot of scientists up at night. It might seem like an easy enough query to answer. After all, we've been growing food here on Earth for thousands of years. So how hard could it be to grow something on another planet? Well, as it turns out, pretty hard. But not impossible. We've actually done a fair bit of research into this topic already. And while we've learned there's no one-size-fits-all answer, we have come up with some pretty interesting ideas. So buckle up, space cadets. Here's what we think would be best in growing food on Mars. When it comes to the future of humanity, Mars is looking pretty bright. We humans have set our sights on becoming a multi-planetary species. And if we can make that dream a reality, we'll need to learn how to grow food on other worlds. One such world is Mars, which has captured our imagination for centuries. But the red planet poses some unique challenges when it comes to agriculture. So let's get started. What about vertical farming? Vertical farms are a relatively new concept in agriculture, but they may just be the way of the future, both on Earth and on Mars. These farms grow crops in vertically stacked layers, allowing for more food to be produced in a smaller space. It's a great solution for densely populated areas where land is scarce. But what about Mars? Could vertical farms be used to grow food for Martian settlers? One study published in the journal Acta Astronautica suggests that vertical farms could be a viable option for growing leafy greens and other crops on Mars. The researchers proposed a system that uses recycled water from the Martian atmosphere to water the plants and a series of LED lights to provide them with the necessary energy to grow. Another study published in the journal Frontiers in Robotics and AI proposed a Martian farming system that uses robots to plant, water, and harvest crops. This system would free up Martian settlers to focus on other tasks while the robots do the hard work of farming. It's unclear whether these vertical farming systems would be effective at growing a wide variety of crops or whether they would require more research and development before they could be used on Mars. However, they represent promising possibilities for the future of Martian agriculture. Hydroponic gardening is another promising avenue for growing food on Mars. Hydroponic gardening is a method of growing plants without soil, instead using a nutrient-rich water solution. This method is already used on Earth to grow leafy greens and other crops, and it could be easily adapted for use on Mars. In fact, one study published in the Journal of Plant Growth Regulation found that hydroponic plants grown on simulated Mars soil showed good growth and development, suggesting that this method could be effective on the red planet. Additionally, hydroponic gardening requires less water than traditional agriculture, making it an attractive option for Mars where water is scarce. Furthermore, it offers the flexibility to grow a wide variety of crops, including fruits, vegetables, and even grains, providing Martian settlers with a balanced diet. The potential for hydroponic gardening on Mars is promising, and with further research and development, it could become an integral part of Martian agriculture. Soilless agriculture is a broad term that encompasses several different methods of growing crops without soil, such as hydroponic and aeroponic gardening. These methods are already being used on Earth to grow a variety of crops, including leafy greens, tomatoes, and even cannabis. The idea behind soilless agriculture is to provide plants with the nutrients they need to grow in a more efficient and controlled environment. Soilless agriculture could be an ideal solution for growing food on Mars where traditional farming methods are not feasible. One advantage of soilless agriculture is that it allows farmers to grow crops year-round regardless of Martian seasons or weather conditions. This means that Martian settlers could enjoy fresh produce whenever they needed it. Another advantage is that soilless agriculture reduces the risk of soil erosion and degradation, which is a major problem on Mars. The thin Martian atmosphere and lack of vegetation have left the planet's surface exposed to wind erosion, creating massive dust storms that can bury entire cities, without soil to hold down the surface. Materials. Mars is also highly susceptible to water erosion. Any flowing water will quickly carve gullies into the landscape, carrying surface materials into the vast canyons that scar the planet. By growing crops in a soilless environment, Martian farmers can help stabilize the soil and prevent erosion. making the planet more hospitable for life in the long term. Aquaponics is an innovative method of growing food that combines aquaculture, which is the farming of aquatic organisms like fish, with hydroponics, which is the growing of plants without soil. This method creates a symbiotic environment where the fish waste provides nutrients for the plants, and the plants purify the water for the fish. Aquaponics could be an excellent solution for growing food on Mars where resources are limited and sustainability is crucial. In an aquaponics system on Mars, fish would be raised in tanks or ponds and their waste would be used to fertilize the plants. The plants would then purify the water, removing excess nutrients and returning clean water to the fish. This process would create a closed-loop system where resources are reused and waste is minimized, making it an efficient and sustainable way to grow food on Mars. Additionally, aquaponics can be used to grow a variety of crops, including leafy greens, tomatoes, and herbs, providing Martian settlers with a diverse diet. It can also be easily adapted to different scales, from small systems for individual households to large-scale commercial operations. The potential for aquaponics on Mars is promising, and with further research and development, it could play a significant role in ensuring the long-term sustainability of human settlements on the Red Planet. Aeroponics takes soilless agriculture one step further by not even using water. Aeroponic plants have their roots suspended in the air and are misted with a nutrient-rich solution. This method is highly efficient and can result in faster-growing plants with larger yields. Aeroponics could be particularly well suited to Mars due to the planet's thin atmosphere, which makes it difficult for traditional farming methods to take hold. The low gravity on Mars could also benefit aeroponic farming by allowing plants to grow more quickly and with larger yields. Additionally, aeroponic systems can be easily automated, which is essential for sustaining a long-term presence on Mars. With the right technology, aeroponic farms could provide a reliable source of fresh produce for Martian settlers and support a thriving community on the Red Planet. Another terrestrial method of growing food that could be used on Mars is permaculture. Permaculture is an approach to agriculture that focuses on creating self-sustaining ecosystems. Unlike traditional agriculture, which relies on monocultures and heavy machinery, permaculture mimics natural ecosystems by growing a variety of crops in polycultures and using natural methods to enrich the soil and control pests. Permaculture principles could be applied to Martian agriculture by creating self-sustaining ecosystems that mimic Earth's diverse biomes. For example, greenhouses could be used to create warm, humid environments for growing tropical crops, while other structures could be built to simulate desert or grassland ecosystems. This approach would not only provide a variety of crops, but also help to create a more livable environment for Martian settlers. Additionally, permaculture principles could be used to integrate livestock into the Martian ecosystem, such as raising goats or chickens for meat and dairy products. Integrating livestock would also help to create a more sustainable system by recycling nutrients through their waste. Overall, permaculture has the potential to create a resilient and sustainable food system on Mars that can thrive in the harsh Martian environment. While we haven't yet figured out how to grow food on Mars, we've made some progress. We know that we can't just dig up the surface and plant a seed. The top layer of Martian soil is full of toxic chemicals that would kill most plants. And the water on Mars is frozen solid or filled with toxic salts. But we've learned that we can create a controlled environment to grow plants. We've successfully grown potatoes, onions, and other crops in Martian simulant soil. And we're working on ways to recycle water and air on Mars to provide the plants with the resources they need. If we can solve these challenges, we'll be able to grow food on Mars and sustain a human colony there. Growing food on Mars is essential for the future of humanity. If we want to become a multi-planetary species, we'll need to be able to grow food on other worlds. And Mars is our best bet. It's close enough to Earth that we can travel there relatively easily, and it has the resources we need to grow food. We just need to figure out how to use those resources. There are a lot of challenges that stand in our way, but we're up for the challenge. We're human, and we're always up for a challenge. We've explored the solar system and landed rovers on Mars. We've developed the technology to send astronauts to the moon and beyond. We've even grown plants in space. We're a pretty resourceful bunch, and we're not afraid of hard work. And that's what it's going to take to grow food on Mars. But we're up for the task and we're excited to get started. The future of humanity may depend on our ability to grow food on other worlds, and we're excited to be a part of that future. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. See you next time.